was laying in my bed and I felt someone next to me, and I saw a little boy laying in my bed and it was bleeding from the forehead.
Dead people have been around us for all eternity. This is not new. And the first time I seen something, I'll tell you, I screamed like a 12-year-old girl. I was scared half to death. But all of a sudden I come to Savannah.
We have ghost hunters, we have ghost tour guides, we have witches.
I am a true psychic medium.
Witchcraft.
I love ceremonial magic.
I'm a witch.
A wizard.
We don't really do the Ouija board or tarot cards. We don't do any of that.
There was always a spiritual leaning in my life.
Finally, I'm accepted into a group.
I always used to cause a lot of trouble at church. The priest said, "Hey son, you bring the devil with you." And I said, "Oh, okay, now you're getting it."
The Pirate House is a place that I wanted to investigate for a long time.
Spirits do latch onto you, and I'm prepared to deal with that.
There was a hanging, like right here.
I don't really know what I'm feeling.
I'm gonna let go because he's trying to come through completely, and I can't do that, okay?
I had no idea Dumbledore was coming to the party.
His credibility is damaged.
There was some animosity.
The ability that she has, it also calls for some alienation from people around her.
She's a non-believer.
Would you leave me alone?
This city is the Bible Belt. Unless you are a Christian, it's really tough.
It's not very accepted for you to see spirits.
Skepticism only stands up in the face of so much proof.
It is always good to talk to anybody that is psychic.
When I was a little kid, I asked my daddy if there was ghosts. He said, "Son, there's a Holy Ghost. You say anything else, I'll kick your ass."
I think I relate better to people that are dead than people that are actually alive.
We all want to connect. We all want to mean something. We just all go different ways about looking for those things. But at the end, it's all the same.
The first exorcism that I ever performed was here in Savannah, and it was on a 17-year-old girl. She was in the throes of what could be ruled as a possession. It took 2 grown men to hold her down.
And then all of a sudden there's just this god-awful roar that came out of her. It wasn't a scream, it was not even a human sound. And the preacher goes flying across his office. Nobody touched him, but there was just this force that pushes him back. And he had claw marks on his body.
I believe that if you have a group of people all with the same intention, something can be manifested.
Most people that are looking for one spiritual journey go across the mountain to find enlightenment. When you're involved in the supernatural, you go through the mountain, which things come at you faster.
It's interesting to see different people from different backgrounds talking about a subject that at one time was completely taboo for them to discuss. Once upon a time, she would have been burned at the stake.
I studied many different religions, from Christianity to Judaism to Islamic and a little bit of Buddhism, and there was always something missing. And then I started studying the old lores and the old stories of paganism, and I found what was missing, and everything else, it was the magic. I've been studying weatherworking for about a year now, and that was the first time I did it by myself. If anyone at summer solstice had an effect on the weather, it was because of a group and not because of a single anyone. And the person who is taking credit for that, his credibility is damaged. I did use the energy of the group to move it, but I did move the cloud.
My mother was a raving Catholic, so she always forced me to go to church, and I always kind of wanted to rebel against that.
Who invited Bono to the party?
I have a lot of fun doing ritual magic because it heals me. You know, I find all aspects of magic to be a kind of healing. Although some people have used it for darker things. I mean, I've seen people put rituals together where they wanted to kill somebody, but they had a lot of fun doing it. I've only met one actual Satanist who believed there was an entity called Satan, and he had this wonderful ritual chamber, and the Satan that he sculpted out of wood had a huge erection about the size of the sculpture itself.
And one thing if I can pick up off of him right away would be a sense of regret.
She's a fantastic channeler.
1, 2, 3 now. Here he is. One of the aspects of having this gift is the fact that when I actually make contact with people who have passed over, I take on the manifestation of their passing in my own physical body. So say they had a heart attack. I'm having the heart attack. I can't breathe. Feels like a weight on my chest. Where they burned in a fire, then my body's physically on fire.
She's very strong energetically.
It's very emotional for me, but it helps me to help other people.
My grandmother would bring us to graveyards because that's where we always spent all our family vacations, in the graveyards, visiting dead relatives. So I've always been comfortable with it.
Honestly, the methods of Joanna and Jennifer, I mean, as people, I think they're okay, but as investigators, I just think they're a little cheesy.
We take our children on ghost hunts. I have brought my daughter, who is 2, and she'll play with the ghost. We took a voice recording in the cemetery during the day with my 2-year-old. She's playing the spirit called Dory. I said, go say goodbye to Dory, and you can hear on the voice recorder, she goes, bye-bye, Dory, and another voice goes, okay, bye-bye.
Is there anyone here who wishes to communicate with us?
Certain people would say that I'm sensitive, and I feel certain things. Walking into a room, at one point I felt complete dread, like we weren't wanted there. I felt angry, where, you know, I didn't want to really talk to anybody, I just wanted to get out of there. I wasn't feeling my own feelings, and it was ridiculously scary at one point.
Savannah is a city built on mud. There's mud flats all around us, and throughout the centuries, mud was used for its healing properties. A lot of us come here to heal, to complete some journey in life and move on, and that has absolutely happened with me. Tammy introduced herself as a psychic medium. I can read off you and tell you all about yourself, sometimes predict future events, tell you all about the deceased relatives that you have or friends or relatives who might be around you, and I just, at that point, not believing it, I just rolled my eyes and left the room like, lady, sell your freaking snake oil to somebody else. She sat me down this one couch. She held my right hand in her left, and the first thing that comes through from my grandmother through Tammy's lips, Tammy says, your grandmother's here. She says, I'm sorry I left you in that situation. Okay. There was one phrase that my grandmother had said about my mother a number of times in life. When that phrase came out of Tammy's lips, my grandmother had been dead for 6.5 years.
Several years ago, on one of my tours, I was in this room right behind me, just beyond that archway. I had a woman standing right in front of me, maybe 4 feet in front of me while I'm addressing the crowd. And all of a sudden, this woman started screaming, and she's doing a backwards walk. She's being pulled backwards. Everyone can see the back of her shirt being pulled. And literally, like her shirt, like an invisible hand was pulling her shirt. She's screaming bloody murder, and I screamed at the ghost. Now, I won't normally try to communicate. I'll just observe. But in that case, I felt like this was out of line, and I screamed, you have no right to touch her, release her now. Everyone's looking at me like I'm whacked out, but then it dawned on them they could see her shirt being pulled, and she was immediately released.
For a non-religious guy, I've got a lot of religious ethic and morality to me. I've come to believe in karma. I've come to believe that doing the best you can by people is what here is what makes you stronger over there.